was strictly a southerner. He was the real southern gentleman, always wore the Panama hat and the bow tie and everything like that. I was not used to somebody so southern. And I think we got along because I wanted to do what I wanted to do.
Was it easier for women in the North to be active businesswomen at the time that you were a businesswoman than in the South?
Yeah, I think so. I had more freedom up north. When we got
Thank you,
married,
sir.
I was in business with AJ only because AJ's business was established.
Wow.
The bride came down the steps with her daddy.
My grandmother, who had red hair to the time she was in her 90s, and she could drink you under the table. We finally gave her ginger ale and told her it was wine.
My father, there's the happy couple. Poor guy.
Yeah, not kidding.
Very young.
This was at my parents' home out in Long Island.
62 years ago.
That's his sister.
Now, when you first moved down,
That's my best friend, and we're still friends. Her last name is Cohen, too. Isn't that funny?
When you first moved down, you said it was a little difficult for you to get adjusted and to fit in, but did you start working right away, or did you?
No, I worked right away with you.
And Lady Jane.
No, you didn't work at Lady.
I didn't work with Lady Jane. I worked with one of the radio stations.
With the radio stations.
Right.
And that was the interview show?
I had an interview show, right.
Okay. How did you select your guests?
Uh,
Thank you.
My guests were selected, as I told you, what was happening that if it was National Dairy Week, I would get somebody prominent in the dairy business and talk about why it was the special for this week. If it was, I took the event of what was that month or that week and talked to somebody prominent to explain to people why it was a big day. Why it was a big day. And
Now-
I would interview people and I would talk
With
to
your
them.
husband involved
No, he wasn't
at
involved.
Mikveh Israel, did you ever use your personality, your on-air personality, to help promote the projects that he had going on?
No,
No.
Did not.
did not, because it was nothing that was his
We,
project.
we were doing separate things.
Entirely separate things. And besides, I was not involved with temple work or anything like that.
Looking for a picture.
I
I'll show you.
I had nothing to do really with First of all, I didn't know his uncle, who was a prominent person in AJ's life. So when I came along, I didn't have that image of somebody. I had Aunt Julia was
Julia Solomons.
Julia Solomon.
Yeah.
I was partly interested in what she was doing. It was in the days when, after the Saturday, always on Saturday, Aunt Julia would have the congregants, remember, come to her home, and she would have like open house, which they don't
Every
do.
Shabbos
Every
afternoon?
Shabbos, every Shabbos, after temple, they would all come to her house for cookies and a social get together.
Did they do it like we do nowadays, where there was a class that had anything to do about Judaism, or it was totally social?
It was just her synagogue. She invited the people to come in, and it was like an open house, and she would have.
Where did they live?
Well, they lived on 44th Street.
46.
I mean 46th Street.
46 between
That's right.
Abercorn and Bull.
When you first remember Mikveh Israel, there was the building, as we have it today, because that's from 1878. Was there a social hall? Do I understand correctly that originally there was a one-story social hall?
You would know
And if
that.
I remember correctly, I was told that it had a stage where you staged events there. Was there also a kitchen?
Right?
So was it one all-purpose room? Did you have your Sunday school
On the side,
program?
there were hinged doors separating rooms on the side for Sunday school.
And about how many classes do you remember? About how many kids?
This for sure.
I don't have any
Okay.
memory of that.
Do you remember having classrooms that were filled with kids your own age, or do you remember ever going through a Sunday school grade where like you were the only one, or you were only one of two kids? Were there a lot of kids that grew up Jewish with
we had
you?
quite a few kids.
Yeah,
You know, people like
there were parts of the
Ruth
Sunday school.
I can't remember
There were
everybody.
parts of the Sunday school where graduation class or bar mitzvah classes were like one or two people. That was it.
We went from Sabbath school to Sunday school. I remember we did first, it was on Saturday. Then we moved to Sunday.
When it was Sabbath school, was it at the same time adults came for services, or was it before services and
I
then you were
think
expected to go into
I
services?
think it was before, and we went into service.
You went into
from
services while-
Sunday school.
And were you expected to participate in the adult service? Or just sit with your parents or sit quietly?
A
And
little
participate?
bit. Not a great deal.
Okay, so by the time that you are in high school age, and you went to Beach High, I'm sorry, Savannah High. Savannah High. And by the time you went to high school, then you were in the confirmation class, and that would have been about 1935. All right. Was that taught by an instructor, by a principal, or was that taught only by the rabbi?
Rabbi dominated it, but you had others. But the rabbi did dominate it,
If
as I
I
remember.
if I remember correctly, there is a service booklet that was for the confirmation service back then. Did you, as a class, help write that booklet, or were you given the parts and told what you would do to participate in the service?
I think we were given the part and told what to do.
Did you have to write a speech or take an exam to
You
be a
did, you
confirmation?
had to write a speech.
Okay. And I did read about earlier classes where there was some type of rigorous exam on Judaism. Were you you were not expected to do that? And there was no Hebrew that you had to do. It was a speech done in English.
Yeah, your Hebrew was all phonetic.
All right. Did you care about confirmation, or it was just one of those things your parents
Oh,
made
I
you
cared
do?
about it, and I think
the
everybody
girl-
in the
every-
class did.
If I remember when I
It was
first
a
came
beautiful,
here,
beautiful ceremony.
the girls got dressed up with the white dresses. I mean, they really looked forward to it.
And my daddy gave me a watch when I was confirmed, and Hamilton, I think it was.
And you dropped it in the
And it was my first real good watch. And I wore it, I went to Tybee with the watch on, and somebody took me fishing on the dock. It was a T dock. I got too close in and went in and ruined the watch.
Was there an expectation that if you went all the way and got to confirmation, that you would then participate?
You were
Following-
expected to
you were-
go to synagogue on Saturday to service, which I did. And
Was that true of most of the people who were confirmed with you, or did they just use it as a dropping off point from Judaism?
it went on for a while, and then it began to drop off, and some continued. But being Uncle George's nephew, I went every Saturday. Furthermore, we had lunch at his house every Saturday. I was expected to be in synagogue.
Now, as the rabbi, he did not keep kosher, correct? And those kinds of rules didn't. Did you ever eat the kinds of things that you don't normally associate with Jewish diet, like shellfish or pork products, or he just didn't? It was a kosher style, even though it wasn't kosher.
No, there was very little kosher. We ate gefilte fish.
But the kosher was mostly, mostly when I first came here. Kosher was mostly for people who really were strict.
We're
Strict Judaism, strict. What did you call it?
Uncle George did not
George,
maintain
a kosher home.
Kosher home.
a kosher home.
There
But
was,
they had a lot of activities there that were Jewish, and they had their own system, I guess.